Good morning, evening, or afternoon to all of you beautiful people. Josh here, back to bring you some sweet voice-based content. So I used to do a series on this channel talking about my favourite voice acting performances, and I haven't done it in a while, mostly just due to not having enough to talk about. There are some performances I really like, yes, but I just couldn't really find a way to articulate it that well. And then recently I stumbled across a few clips of the BFG's remake, and well, how do I put this? I'm not a fan. And I know it's kind of a cardinal sin to base your opinion on an entire film off a few clips, but this is a film, or the original is a film that holds a really important place in my heart. So why am I not a fan? Well, let's dive into the reason why, and let's return to this series and talk about Sir David Jason as the BFG in the 1989 film of the same name. Without any further ado, let's go! So the first question we must ask, as we always do in this series, who is the BFG? As usual, incoming spoiler warning, please go and watch the 1989 version of the BFG if you do not want to be spoiled. Haven't done this joke in a while. Just killing time, so I don't get in trouble. Doobie-doo. We're good? Okay, great. The BFG
is the big friendly giant.
He is the title character of the book created by British children's book legend Roald Dahl. Residing in the mystical land of Giant Country, the BFG spends his days collecting and creating dreams, which he then gives to children in the nighttime when he travels to the human world. The BFG holds very true to his namesake, going as far as to eat nothing but the disgusting vegetable snozcumbers to ensure that he doesn't have to eat humans like the other giants, and doing everything in his power to protect and look after Sophie. Now, the BFG acts as the bridge between the human world and the world of the giants, and nowhere is this encapsulated more than in his use of broken English. He is incredibly confident in his delivery, but mispronounces or misuses certain phrases, such as saying, "I'm as right as snow," instead of "it's right as rain," and calling humans human beings instead of human beings. However, comparatively to the other giants, Sir David Jason portrays the BFG as being a bit more literate than the others. The other giants don't really tend to use full sentences, like when Blood Bottler smells Sophie's presence in the BFG's cave and simply says,
"Smell human being. Gimme."
Whereas the BFG, while his English is not perfect, he tends to use more literate sentences. These moments remind us that the BFG is much more like a human than he is a giant, and that the difference between the two is incredibly stark, and that's how the narrative is pushed forward. The BFG is also far less serious than the rest of the giants, who are generally a lot more mean, aggressive, and angry at pretty much all the time. Sir David gives the BFG a childlike sense of wonder that matches the film's overall tone. Whether singing about the wonders of whiz-popping,
Whiz-pop, whiz-bang, feel the bumps go down,
or this absolutely fucking glorious giggle.
Sweet. No.
Sir David gives the BFG so much life and joy that it's so infectious. Every time I see the BFG or hear him laugh, I can't help but join him, even now, over 20 years after I first saw the film. Now, before I continue, let me be perfectly clear. I don't want to be mean, but this is my childhood here, so I'm going to do my best to be as unbiased as I possibly can. With that being said, I don't think the 2016 version of the BFG character is that good. Now, Mark Rylance did as good a job as he could with what he had, but the character has major problems which translate into major problems with the voice acting. I mean, just purely ignoring the fact that the BFG in this version literally manipulates Sophie, abusing his power and causing her to go through a traumatic nightmare. The BFG in general just seems kind of like a drunk farmer. He's mean-spirited, low energy, and generally has taken the friendly out of the big friendly giant. Sir David Jason gave the character so much more life and energy to really sell the fact that this world was something completely new, exciting, and wonderful, despite also being completely terrifying. His voice hammered home that the BFG is literally the antithesis of the giant's slow and menacing demeanor, and that is what made the character so iconic. I don't want to just rag on the 2016 version of the BFG, because I do think it does have some good points, but still, I just think that objectively, even from the small number of clips that I've seen, that The 1989 version of the BFG just has so much more life and energy, and it really translates to this beautiful, wild, childlike sense of wonder and imagination that really made the BFG in 1989 so iconic and so wonderful. And there we go! So that is my thoughts on why Sir David Jason's portrayal of the BFG is so bloody wonderful. I love the original BFG, and Sir David Jason's performance is a huge part of why I love the BFG and the character of the BFG so much. And I hope that I got across why it makes the character so perfect. If you've seen the original or the 2016 version, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Genuinely curious to see the preferences and thoughts on the two versions of the character. As always, if you did enjoy this video, then do leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more beautiful voice-based content. Keep your eyes out for my next video. I do upload every 2 weeks, but until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope one day we all get to enjoy some Frobscottle together, and above all else, I hope you fantastic magical souls all stay wonderful.